Welcome to Momentum Monday. Today's April 9th, 2023. Happy Easter, happy Passover. Everyone celebrating. Howard?
I like days off. I like when the market's closed. I would like the
Yeah,
market to be open. I think
3-day
it should be
weekends are
open.
great. I agree.
Market should be open Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, maybe.
Yeah, wouldn't be bad.
I mean, they should test 4 days a week. I remember when it was, I mean, it really is kind of open 7 days a week anyways. So 4 days a week for regular people would be great. What do we got? What do we got?
I mean, consolidation for the most part in tech stocks. I think lately we're seeing a rotation into more defensive sectors. So names like healthcare and utilities and consumer staples outperformed in the past week or so as interest rates pulled back.
Yeah, rates starting to pull back.
So the market is probably pricing in an economic slowdown in the second half of the year. At least this is what usually happens when those defensive sectors outperform. In the meantime, a lot of the high-flying momentum names took a hit. Names like AI, and SMCI, like a lot of the really high momentum names. You've had like pretty decent pullbacks to their 50-day or 20-day moving
Huh.
averages over the past week. So we definitely saw that rotation into more defensive sectors, into more defensive names. Even the outperformance of the mega cap stocks like Microsoft and Apple and Google can also be interpreted as a defensive move. I mean, Google had a notable relative strength on Friday,
Yeah,
broke
where we
out
got on a monthly. I'm on Google always, but that AI sell off.
on a monthly is bullish too. This is on a
Yeah,
weekly. On a weekly is
got back above its
we're
200. Yeah,
bullish on various time frames. Obviously, trying to catch up with Microsoft, which is currently the perceived leader in the space, other
yep,
than Nvidia.
yep.
And
Wow.
as I said,
Yep,
that I think that outperformance in mega cap tech stocks is a defensive move,
yep.
just because they're not relatively lower beta names. They're not fast movers.
I was saying the machine saved us, right? Like it was all about software, but if we don't have this AI kind of zero, there's this chart like it's the fastest adopted 100 million users ever with no spend, Chat GPT
Yeah,
4. So out of nowhere, you have something that kind of saved the tech bear market. It's not going to save everybody, as I wrote. It's going to save. You see the companies bouncing the fastest: Nvidia, Apple, Google, Microsoft, AMD, probably some certain semis.
yeah. I mean,
But
definitely is the hottest trend right now. Anything related to AI, it's really what everyone is talking about and working
well,
on.
that's for a while. Eventually, now it'll be the real companies. It's only been 4 or 5 months since we had this launch, so kind of kind of interesting how it kind of saved the Nasdaq. What's the S&P look like?
The S&P is not looking that bad. It's still above its 220 50-day moving average, just consolidating through time. Definitely looking better than maybe Europe is the only continent that is looking more constructively,
Yeah,
consolidating near 52-week highs. Anything
yeah.
else like China is, I mean, it's still near its 200-day, or Latin America. And these are the ETFs that I'm sharing. These are all like big cap names. These are not small cap names. And
Right.
as you can see, they're significantly underperforming, despite the fact that the US dollar has had a pretty
It
decent
sold
pullback
off. Yeah.
in the past few weeks and this year in general. So definitely S&P and the Qs holding better than most of the rest of the world, with the exception of Europe.
Yeah. The I was saying the four biggest French companies are fashion companies. You've got Ferrari at all-time highs.
This is Louis
Race
Vuitton. We have
race is the ticker. So there is strength in these kind of you got the Merck's, the defensive healthcare stocks and some utilities, but then you have stocks that cater to the 1% in the aspirational nine, I call them, doing very well. Was a 2-year back order for Ferraris. I don't, yeah, people are insane. But you can't. Oh, this is the competitor to LVMH Roll-On.
Yeah.
What's Samsonite? Interesting.
We're just
So
checking
this
on
is
the.
more lower end stuff. How's Nike holding in there?
Nike is in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah,
Lululemon
pretty reliant on China, but
beat estimates, had a big gap up, kind of going sideways, which is constructively.
yeah.
Obviously, during the past year and a half, expectations were lowered so much that it's really easy to beat them. So the next earnings season starts basically on Friday.
Well, it's expensive stock still. Like even with it's still 30 times earnings. I tell you what, man, there is just people willing to hold a 5% interest rate. People still willing to speculate on 2025 numbers. I mean, man, I don't know. You need rates to really come back to make these things look interesting, but people want to speculate. Where my two strongest ones are Axon. My friend who was running marketing got promoted to COO, Josh Isner. I ran into him randomly. Company's still on fire with their own personal cloud. Maybe AI helps them too. I don't know, with crime and with their cloud and with their cameras. And then what else seems to, like I said, Merck, some boring pharmaceuticals doing well. I mean, I have no edge there and why. But like you said, XLV is kind of the proxy.
Yeah, Alibaba is an interesting one since they recently announced that they're going to split into 6 different companies, and the market seems to be liking it.
It will make it 6 times harder to analyze.
Yeah, but it's working valuation-wise because they gapped
well,
up.
Working relative to what? Look at the monthly.
I know on monthly they haven't done great compared to.
It's not working. So what are you swinging? So obviously Baba. What else?
Baba, I'm swinging Google, Microsoft. These are the names that I'm in, and I've been trading, like the big tech names.
How's housing looking with rates kind of coming off here?
It's holding really well, actually. I mean, some of them, not all. It pulled back last week because if there's recession, I mean, yes, interest rates are going to pull back, but there will be fewer transactions. But companies like Redfin, I think, working on new bases, Zillow, not looking too bad.
Yeah, there's a lot of big bases.
Banks are still internet companies looking super weak and near 52
Yeah, they were breaking down,
52-week lows. And as I was going to mention earlier, so earnings season starts on Friday with the big banks reporting: JPM, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Citi.
Oh, that'll be interesting because XLF above 30 is what you need to see it above 30. So that's kind of what I'm watching with JC. It's holding better than the regional banks, but so that's the big news this week.
Yeah, banks on Friday. I feel like they're going to beat expectations, especially the big ones, since expectations are so low, and they definitely attracted new customers in the past month or so.
Good point. They don't want those customers, by the way, but yeah, they attracted a bunch. They don't want the small accounts. They don't want to pay interest.
What do you mean they don't want the small accounts? Most of their clients are small accounts.
Yeah, I'm saying they don't want all these like regional bank accounts because they don't want to pay any interest on it. They're non-profitable accounts. They want all the, that's why it's been going sideways. You need an economy that's doing well for the banks. It's kind of, they go hand in hand. But the charts look heavy, man. Like, so, financials roll over. I mean, listen, we're in no man's land. Tech still looks the strongest this year. It's had a good year, but I don't have any edge here. It's just one of those weeks. Well, I think, like you said, Friday with earnings. Anything else that looks interesting? Any other sectors?
I mean, that's about it from just from a purely practical viewpoint. Rotation into defensive sector and just
you can't force it. It just
doesn't seem like that.
It's
what's working.
You know, if
All of them. Yeah.
yeah,
Here's
I mean,
Meta.
from when it was written off, there was some great give up October, November, and if you look back at the VIX and where people's give ups were, been some great rallies off the low from Netflix to obviously Meta.
Yeah.
Oh, Roblox kind of
Roblox
perked.
kind of setting up potentially.
Still doesn't say they're going to have earnings. Roblox, huh?
Yeah. They're
Printing
still
money.
losing money. Let's check out on SE. Pulled back to its 20-day, one of the earnings breakouts.
Mm-hmm.
Melly, let's see, also pulling back to its
Yeah.
50-day. That's why last week, the vast majority of momentum names were hit.
Okay.
So defensive moves, definitely.
Defensive moves. All right, everybody. Well, I mean, we're not going to beat a dead horse. I think we'll have a lot to go on next week. I'll be overseas, Ivan, so we'll do the show from. I'll be in Italy.
Okay.
When do you head overseas?
End of April.
Okay, awesome. Well, so the next month will be Momentum Monday from overseas. And maybe I'll have some European ideas, but it just feels like this economy is bifurcated. You got to have a lot of money. So the brands that people are spending at are, the high-end brands, and then on the other end of the big institutional money is going in defensive names. That could all switch. We'll see what banks are Friday, and we'll check in on Sunday.
All right. See you
All right,
next week.
everybody.
Bye.
Have a good week.